on the Hill, live from the North Lawn. He is the head of the FDA, Dr. Marty Makary. First time here on the show, I believe. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Great to be with you.
So I read through this, Doctor, 72 pages. One of the things that stood out to me was there were over 500 citations, right? 522, I believe. You described it as a quote-unquote call to action. It read to me a little bit like a thesis. This is what we believe. This is what we think. This is what we believe the problems are and maybe how to address it. What actually comes next here?
Well, that's exactly right, Blake. There is a thesis here, and that thesis is that our entire focus of the U.S. healthcare system has been on the back end. It's been a reactionary system, and we need to be proactive and look at the root causes because we can't keep playing whack-a-mole. We've got a major crisis now with children. We've got a major chronic disease epidemic. 40% of kids have a chronic condition. 1 in 4 teen boys takes an ADHD medication. 1 in 4 teen girls has treatment for depression. The kids are not doing well in this country. We have record rates of all sorts of chronic diseases, and we have not been talking about food as medicine, the microbiome, the underlying root causes, the devices. And so that's where a lot of the focus is in this thesis, to convert us from a reactionary system to a proactive system looking at root causes.
What about, I guess, Doctor, what comes next, really, right? And what about enforceability? Because at the end of the day, you can list the stats off, you can put the report out, you can have a big meeting at the White House, but parents have the decisions over what their children do and don't eat and how they raise their children. So I guess the question is, what's the enforceability mechanism of any of this that whether it be over at HHS or the FDA that you go on from here with?
So this document is information to educate the public. It's also our agenda as a healthcare government administration and Health and Human Services under Secretary Kennedy. So that means we're going to be putting more research at the NIH into understanding root causes and why cancer is going up in young people, not just to study chemotherapy on the back end. It means Medicare is going to reevaluate their payment structure to take a look at paying for health, not just sickness. And it also means at the FDA, where I am, that we're going to look at food, not just drugs, because the F in FDA stands for food.
Yeah. So here was the president today on food dyes, and I want to get your reaction on the other side.
We will not allow our public health system to be captured by the very industries it's supposed to oversee. So we're demanding the answers. The public is demanding the answers, and that's why we're here. Already we're phasing out 8 of the most common artificial food dyes.
There was that big announcement last month, I believe, on food dyes, right? And the administration's plan of getting petroleum-based food dyes out of the system, essentially. The food companies, the big food companies, have said that they are going to work with you on this. Do you believe at the end of the day, when we get into 2026 and you try to get a lot of this stuff out, that the food companies are actually going to take it out?
Well, they're already doing it, and we've been meeting with different food manufacturers, and they're giving us great promises of their goals and targets. They want a level playing field. They're watching public sentiment. Republican, Democrat, and independent moms showed up in high numbers to vote for President Trump over this issue of the MAHA agenda. And so you have 30 states now that either have laws on banning food dyes or are considering laws. And the food companies want a level playing field. They want a standard national timeline. They don't want to give their competitors an unfair advantage, and understandably so.
Commissioner, I think here's one of the realities. This involves President Trump and Secretary Kennedy, so there's a part of the country that's just going to discard this, right? And then because this involves President Trump and Secretary Kennedy, there's a part of the country that's going to say, okay, let me take a look and see what this is all about, right? I don't think that surprises you or anyone. But with this 70-page report, most folks aren't going to go through it. For those folks who say, I wonder what this is all about, and as we sit here at 6:10 on the East Coast and a lot of people are making dinner, either for themselves or for their kids, what's sort of the one thing that you think that they should take away from all of this today?
Well, look, can we love our nation's children more than we hate each other politically? I mean, this is a call to unite around medical science and look at root causes. Maybe we need to treat more childhood obesity with talking about school lunch programs, not just putting every young kid on Ozempic. Maybe we need to talk about the environmental exposures and chemicals that cause cancer, not just the chemo to treat it. So this is an entirely new framework. It's going to guide this administration as we, plan our actions in the agencies. And so we're already doing a lot of this. And this is to educate the public and let them know that we are delivering on a promise to look at the root causes of our chronic disease epidemic, which doesn't exist in other parts of the world. This is an American problem. It's been going on for 50 years. It's been getting worse. Different scientists have been waving the flag, saying, hey, look at these root causes. Yeah. We have research on it. And that research comes to the forefront in this report.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.